New from the Embedded podcast. Female athletes have always needed grit and talent. But for decades, they've also needed a certificate.
There was chit-chat about, is that really a woman?
And even now, they're still being checked and questioned. Their story is the newest series from CBC and NPR's Embedded. It's called Tested. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
You rely on this podcast to stay informed and connected with your local community, and we rely on you. Without listener support, this show simply wouldn't exist. Be a part of the team that makes this show possible by donating to our home, KUOW. It only takes a minute. Donate at KUOW.org or follow the link in the show notes. And thank you.
You're listening to Soundside. I'm Libby Denkman. The Paris 2024 Olympics are in full swing. Yesterday, I was glued to badminton, with the birdies. The gold medal match was kind of a blowout. Congratulations, Denmark. I love those kind of obscure sports that you really don't see outside of the Olympics, much in the U.S. at least. And maybe that's why I'm so excited about one sport which is in its final day of competition tomorrow. Wednesday is the last day of competition for the artistic swim, better known by many by the sport's old name, synchronized swimming. This is the first time in 16 years that the American team has qualified for the Olympics in the artistic swim, and two members of that team come from right here in Seattle. They both got their start at the same club called Seattle Synchro. Soundside producer Sarah Leibovitz headed to Bellevue to meet with Seattle Synchro's head coach and learn more about the sport.
I'm at Newport Hills Pool and Tennis Club in Bellevue. In one pool, kids are playing water polo as friends and family cheer them on. In the other, a group of kids huddle near the diving boards. They're watching as two young girls swim to the middle of the pool and prepare their routine. Music comes on from two loudspeakers nearby, and they're in motion. The girls move in unison, smiling widely as they wave their arms, flipping upside down so that their legs stick perfectly straight out of the air. They splash as one in beat with the music. Leg up, back down, spin together, turn around. Heads reappearing for a final move as the song stops. Their names are Isabella and Saran, and at 11 years old, they're practicing to represent Team USA at the Pan Am Artistic Swimming Championships in Lima, Peru. Head coach Daniela Garmendia watches nearby. When the routine is finished, she comes forward to talk them through the movements. And then they do it again. And again.
1, 3, 5, 7. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They make it look easy to get right back in and go. But Coach Daniela says it's anything but.
The easiest way for me to describe how hard this is imagine running a mile or half a mile, sprinting, and then hold your breath. How is that going to feel?
And of course, that's sprinting in open water, a completely different environment from what we're used to.
You cannot touch the bottom, for most people that might not know that. And you are pushing your body to maximum capacity of effort in absence of oxygen, which is the most challenging and the mental portion of it, which is a little crazy. A lot of things going into the mind of the swimmers because you not only have to be on count, which we put counts to the music so that we can be in sync, of course, while holding your breath and being in sync and in pattern with the people around you. So the level of self-awareness needs to be very high in order to do your best, at the same time encompass with your teammates.
Artistic swimming is a combination of swimming, ballet, gymnastics, diving, and cheerleading. Daniela tells me it exhibits the athletic power of extremely difficult acrobatic moves, performed while holding your breath, and the artistry of dance. It's also a sport that's seen a lot of change in recent years, starting with the name.
Synchronized swimming limits us a little bit. Where you'd say artistic swimming is more, you can think a little bit similar to like artistic gymnastics or artistic ice skating, all of these other sports that include not only the technical part of our sport, but also the artistic portion of it. We try to do highly technical skills in an artistic way.
There's also a new scoring system, which Daniela says is more similar to what you'd see in a gymnastics competition or other artistic sports.
we're trying to make it a little bit less subjective. There is always going to be a human component on our scores, but there are specific values to each movement that we do, or every skill that we do, similar to what you see in gymnastics or diving or any other sport that, for example, if I say my swimmer is going to do a full 360 spin, that has a specific value. But if they're going to do a 720 spin, then that has a different value. The new scoring system allows for excitement in the sport.
Those new rules, says Daniela, have given the U.S. an edge. With a head coach that understands how to work with the new scoring system, the American team has made it into the Olympics for the first time in 16 years. There's also been another big change. For the first time in the Olympics, men can now be included on the teams. But they're still catching up. No men are competing as artistic swimmers this year. Interest in the sport is still just growing, struggling against years of stereotypes that the sport is girly or not as athletic as manly sports like boxing or rowing. But Daniela says that will change. In fact, it's already changing within the Seattle Synchro team. One swimmer she coaches, named Ethan, won silver at the junior championships last year. 2 former members of Seattle Synchro are competing for Team US in Paris right now. Their names are Kiana Hunter and Audrey Kwan. Daniela told me they both started with Seattle Synchro as 8-year-olds.
And then they both fell in love with the sport. They had what was needed, and they had the passion and dedication.
But when the girls decided to go for the national team as teenagers, staying in Seattle wasn't an option.
It is no surprise for Washingtonians, I guess, to realize that there is not enough indoor pools and public pools in general in our area. So our club is always hunting for pools. Right now we don't have a house pool per se because of the resources that we have here. Eventually they had to move to California in order to have a higher level of coaching and pool time and a better setup for themselves.
With so many swim sports competing for the same pool space, artistic swimming often isn't prioritized. And that means the team moves around a lot.
And when someone joins the team, I always tell them up front what's the expectation, because it's not only the pool that changes, it's the schedules that change constantly.
Seattle, Bellevue, Snohomish, the swimmers and their parents have to be flexible and willing to travel if they want to participate. One way the team has managed to get the space they need throughout the year, they practice at outdoor pools all year long. Whether it's raining or snowing or a nice summer day, the 56 kids that make up Seattle Synchro will be in the pool. But Daniela says that all of the hurdles artistic swimmers face in order to practice their passion is part of what makes the sport great.
It teaches you that you belong to something bigger than yourself, and I think that when you're forced to fail and grow along your teammates, it becomes a very strong bond and a relationship that lasts for the rest of your life. And I think that's the key component, that you go and you struggle in a safe environment, and that develops resilience and mental toughness.
Daniela says the American team also has something else on their side. A drive to push forward and get better that she says is unique to our country.
What I, for me as an immigrant, always have found a key component of the American people is the willpower that they have to achieve things. No matter how hard it gets, you just push through. And then when you achieve it, it's so rewarding.
For Soundside, I'm Sarah Leibovitz.
If you want to learn more about Seattle Synchro or try it out for yourself, you can check out their website, seattlesynchro.com. Thanks for listening to Soundside. By the way, this show is only possible because listeners support us. If you are able to give right now, check out the show notes for a link to donate. And don't forget, you can listen live on KUOW 94.9 FM Seattle at noon and 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, or anytime online at KUOW.org.